I have given Wizards a very hard time repeatedly on this stream about the fact that I cannot draft the latest set 24/7 and impact my rank. And I've been pretty relentless in complaining about it, but I don't feel I've done a fair job of at least framing the decision that they're making and the factors in it. And I was telling Marshall about it because he was wondering as well. In fact, I kind of want to bring up the texts that I wrote to him because they have a lot of my points on it. So I can it reminds me of my list. So how did they arrive at this place where we all feel it's weird? Because there's a lot of weirdness going on in what's being offered in the limited queues, and I wanted to at least explain why it's weird from a decision standpoint at WotC. So imagine you're on the design team for Arena, and you're trying to figure out your schedule for events and what kind of queues you're going to be offering to players and in what formats. And here are the constraints that you're working with. You want to have as few queues as possible, because the more queues, the longer wait times, and the more stuff people have to try and process. So you want as few queues as possible. You need to be able to... You've called yourself a free-to-play game, and legally, to be a free-to-play game, everything in your game that is necessary to do well at the game must... So not cosmetics, but anything related to the gameplay itself. If it's free to play, you have to be able to access it without paying, right? So you need to have a system by which someone can grind gold, enter into an event with gold, win gems, and then use those gems to get into the other thing. So 24/7, you need to have a limited way to play for gold, okay? So that's another thing they want. Another thing is... hide the latest set behind a gem paywall. You don't want... here's your latest set. Another factor in your design is that Ravnica Allegiance needs to be able to be in kind of gem-only mode on demand by WotC. So if WotC wants to set things up, the only way to acquire Allegiance through Limited is through paying gems. That's another thing they want to be able to do. And then, let's see, they want a place, they want to promote Best of One as the primary competitive mode on Arena. That's another thing they want to do. And they want to have a place where players can play without rank impacting their matchmaking. They want a place where you're only going to be match made on win-loss. And you don't want to have weird mixed messages where it matters to rank, but rank isn't part of the matchmaking. Like, basically, you want things to be the same. Like, basically, whenever somebody comes into a traditional draft, they should see basically the same setup down here, right? And when anybody comes into ranked, they want to see the same thing here too. So having both of these options, and you could make another queue, like you could have a best of one gem only. Like, take this 5,000 away. Imagine a 750 only gem only ranked draft RNA. That seems like it could be a solution, but you are adding a queue. You are making two ranked queues behave differently, you know. Anyway, so I'm listing out all these requirements because really I'm trying to get at the heart of like what really makes game design tough. There's a lot of great ideas. Coming up with fun ideas for games isn't the hard part. The hard part is making these really difficult design decisions around a set of constraints that don't play nicely to each other. And I think the fundamental thing that Wizards is wrestling with on rank on Arena in Limited in the latest set is the two fundamental things that are opposed, that are creating some inelegant designs. And this is what I was telling Marshall. I said, you know, wanting the ability to hide the latest set behind a gem wall and needing to always have a way to gold draft for rank progress are the two main opposing forces that, when both must be true, create really ugly design decisions. And so that's the heart of it. I listed a bunch of things, but fundamentally, wanting to hide your latest set behind a gem wall and always needing to provide a gold-based rank draft are the two factors that create a lot of weirdness around the fact that you can't draft the latest set for rank 24/7. So rather than just completely complain about it, how it makes me feel as a customer, I thought it would at least explain the challenge they're facing on the design side. But frankly, that challenge is born from this desire to make sure that they can hide the latest set behind a gem wall. So also my sympathy for that is a little bit on the low side, and I think they should suck it up and either figure out something a little less elegant to make a gem only best of one ranked of the new set available at all times, or do something. But it's utterly ridiculous to say, we are Wizards of the Coast, we make Magic the Gathering, here's the latest set, care about rank but not in this one. That just they've got to fix that. That makes no sense. It makes sense in terms of, I see how they got there because of what I just described, but I really think they need to fix it. So I thought I'd give at least a little more context there. And then